Have you ever looked at St. Louis home prices and thought, where can I find a good house without giving up my whole lifestyle? Because South St. Louis into Jefferson County along the I-55 corridor still has some of the most affordable suburbs you can buy into right now. Why? Because a $246 million major highway upgrade is already changing commute flow, safety upgrades, and where development wants to land. Today, I'm breaking down the I-55 expansion and what it actually includes, how it impacts buyers, sellers, and relocators, and then we're counting down the 4 suburbs that are going to be impacted the most through 2026. And one of these towns is quietly becoming the convenience hub of the entire corridor, and most people don't realize it yet. And quick question, are you moving for price, commute, or space? Me and my wife live and work here, and I love helping others do the same. I help people just like you buy, sell, and relocate to the area, so feel free to reach out and we would love to make your next move as smooth as possible. Now, let's dive in. Zoom out for a second. I-55 is one of the main arteries connecting South St. Louis through Jefferson County. And this isn't just resurfacing. The current MoDOT project is adding a 3rd lane in key stretches, upgrading major interchanges, and is either replacing or upgrading multiple bridges through Pevely and Festus. Construction started in early 2024, and major phases are expected to run through to the end of 2026. Now, when you upgrade a corridor like this, 2 things normally happen. 1, commutes get more predictable over time. 2, the developments and services start clustering around exits and the, daily life zones. Now, translation, the same house that feels out there can be perfectly positioned in a couple years from now. But before we get excited, let's talk about what it feels like right now. Because if you're relocating, that's the real life part. Real talk, moving during construction can be really annoying. Traffic patterns change, sometimes without warning. Lanes get tighter, and people panic brake like they've never drove in a construction zone, and that's definitely something you'll be hearing from your wife on the phone calls. And if there's an accident, with these concrete barriers, if one person gets in an accident, the police or fire, they have to go all the way around through the back end of the exit while everyone else behind them is stuck, or it can cause a lot of stop and go traffic. So here's the trade-off. Short-term inconvenience for potential long-term positioning. Question, would you deal with a little mess now, like construction zones, to buy, before the prices fully adjust? Because the buyers who win in corridors like this usually do one thing differently. They're ready. My 3-day ready buyer system. Here's what most people miss. In corridors like this, single family homes can still move fast. The biggest pain point isn't always price. It's being ready when the right house hits the market. So if you're trying to buy down here, I want you on what I call the 3-day ready rule. First, be pre-approved. Second, pick your non-negotiables. Size of your home, location, like commute distance from where you need to work, lot size. Pick your 3 non-negotiables. 3, have an offer plan ready with the real estate agent right in your corner so you don't miss out on finding the right home and then missing that deal just because you didn't have your papers ready. All right, let's get into the suburbs that are going to be impacted. And stay to the end because the 4th one is going to be the convenience hub. Suburb number 1 is Pevely. If you want to be closer to the city without city prices, Pevely is one of the first suburbs I'd consider. What I like about Pevely is its positioning. You're still within a workable downtown commute, and you're directly inside of the I-55 improvement zone. Now, here's the key, and the draw isn't always the cheapest. The draw is proximity and long-term positioning, and inventory can definitely feel tighter than nearby towns. And for the relocators who like no drama and want safety, Pevely is known for being quiet and more straightforward. Question, are you the type of buyer who wants better access and doesn't care about a smaller town and, not as flashy? Because suburb number 2 has infrastructure that most people don't even know is there, and it matters more than you think. Suburb number 2 is Herculaneum. Herculaneum is interesting because it's not just another suburb by the highway. It's positioned with logistics and freight in mind, with highway access, rail access, and a history of industrial infrastructure. If you're relocating for certain job types like freight, regional employment, and or logistics, then this move can be a quiet advantage. But even if you're not in that world, here's why it matters. Areas with strong transportation infrastructure tend to attract investments over time. Not always fast, not always flashy, but always steady. Question, are you buying purely on lifestyle, or are you thinking about resale and long-term demand? If affordability is your top priority, then suburb number 3 is where I'd look first. Suburb number 3 is Crystal City. When people tell me I just want a house that's affordable and makes sense, Crystal City comes up a lot, especially if you're okay with trading some polish for price. The biggest advantage here is the proximity to Festus. You still benefit from corridor upgrades, shopping, and services, and that, close commute being right off of I-55 without paying the same premiums. This is often a strong fit for first-time home buyers, budget relocators, or those who are wanting to build equity before they upgrade later. Question, would you rather get the best deal today, even if you'll have to upgrade the kitchen down the road? Because suburb number 4 is where it all comes together, and where me and my wife choose to live and work and help others just like you do the exact same. Suburb number 4 is Festus, and in my opinion, the heart of this corridor. If you want day-to-day life to feel easy, Festus checks a lot of boxes. And it has what I call the convenience stack. From everything from shopping, services, the gym, parks, food options with a variety of homes. Now here's my personal angle because this matters. My wife and I chose Festus because daily life is simple. We hit Planet Fitness every single day. My real estate office is right on Main Street where it's actually walkable, where me and my wife will, walk to the local coffee shop, run into locals to where it actually feels like a real town. And most importantly, we've got our go-tos. Thai food in Crystal City, which we're actually going to tonight. A donut spot that we absolutely love. Brick oven pizza, with our favorite being the Chinese buffet. And or a beautiful and yet affordable Mexican restaurant. And then of course the practical stuff from Walmart, Home Depot, Lowe's, Hoods, and then our grocery stores, parks, pickleball. Now, honest cons. 1, I-55 construction can definitely be stressful, especially in those narrow lanes. Number 2 is that me and my wife wish that there was a little bit more entertainment or date night options. Currently, we do have, escape room, cute ice cream places, but things for like when we want to play mini golf, whenever we want to go to a nice movie theater, we got to go a little bit closer to like Arnold, about a 20-30 minute drive towards the city. But the trade-off is this. You're not paying closer in pricing for a lifestyle that works for most people. Now question, are you okay with a 20 to 30 minute drive for certain entertainment, like catching the ball game at the city, if you get a home at a better price with more yard? And remember the open loop? And this is why I call Festus the hub. With the walkable main streets, you got your new construction builds with the new hotels, new apartments going up. Then you got activity and upgrades in our parks with the shopping and services that all just blend together to make daily life easier. Now, a quick myth bust. Some people assume that the whole area is hillbilly with just trucks and cornfields. Is there some of that? Sure. Occasionally, I'll still have someone cold roll my Tesla with a giant diesel. But that's not the whole story. There are solid neighborhoods where families and professionals are choosing this area every day because it's practical, with affordability and outdoor activities, with the, proximity and closeness to the city for those getaway weekends. Now, here's who this I-55 corridor and these suburbs are perfect for. If you want more house for money, a yard, a garage, and space to breathe, parks, trails, and outdoor activities, and a manageable commute to South County or downtown. But it might not be for you if you need full walkability, if you hate driving, or if you work north of the city or to the west side of the city, because then that could definitely tack onto your daily commute. Question, where do you work and how often do you commute to work? That one answer changes everything. And quick note for sellers, corridor upgrades don't guarantee instant price jumps, but they can tighten demand over time as more buyers find out about these suburbs, which means positioning, timing, and pricing matters more than ever. And if you're planning on making a move to St. Louis, whether it's on the I-55 corridor or anywhere else, feel free to reach out, give me a call, give me a text, all of that's in the description below. Whether it's in 9 days or 9 months, I would love to make your next move as smooth as possible. With all that being said, I hope to see you around town.